And thanks so much for joining me. So I wanted to bring you another video. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest. This is a timeless reading. Could also use this as a manifestation reading. All you need to do is claim this energy as your own. I get my information from God and from the Holy Spirit. I don't use any cards. Um, if you'd like to work with me on spiritual advice, twin flame stuff, astrology readings, and more, my information is in the description below. If you'd like to book a free consult with me, my Calendly link is in the description below. Um, Keep in mind, we all have masculine and feminine energies in our bodies. So masculine can be feminine, feminine can be masculine. So use those terms as they make sense in your situation. All right, y'all. So let me get into it. So again, I've been talking about just changing the direction of the readings. And so I do want to focus a little bit on the angel numbers, and then also want to focus on giving you information that you could use that can really help get you the thing that you desire in your life. And so the angel number that I want to focus on today is 2222, and the angel numbers have continued to come to me lately. And So a number that came up recently that I want to talk about is 2222. And then I also want to talk a little bit about some information that you could use that might be able to help you get more of the things that you want. So, um, 2222, balance. It's a number that suggests that you need balance. Also, relationships deserve more attention. So it could be partnerships, collaborating, working together. Um, Patience brings better results than if you try to rush into something. Trust that divine timing is perfect. And also, there can be positive developments. There could be things going on behind the scenes that you don't know anything about that could benefit you very much. Um, so you might need more balance if, say, you're working too much, or you need to focus more on your health and you haven't been doing that, or you've been focused too much on business, work stuff, and not on family or personal stuff. Um, you haven't been taking care of yourself. You've just been running yourself ragged. You need to do that. Maybe you're focused on the future and not being present. So you need to focus on being present. Um, like I was talking about with the balance again, you could go pretty far alone, but you could go further if you're working with others. And so just consider collaborating, communicating more, working with others, reaching out, seeing what you could do. It could be family, friends, it could be business partners, it also could be romantic partners that you need to work with more, and maybe you need to pay more attention to your romantic relationship. You could get better at communication. Also, could be long-term commitment that you're looking at, and that could be something that you're getting into. Um, you could work on building self-confidence. Again, your health could be something that you need to pay attention to. Healing past emotional wounds so you could open yourself up to more, not only romantically, but like in so many other ways. Your manifestations can also be held up at times, is what the gurus say, by you having hurt in your heart. So it's important for you to release the hurt in your heart, and surround your heart with love, happiness, joy, and all those things. Understanding what your expectations are and what the other person's relationship expectations are. Um, Having emotional balance. When both you and your twin flame, let's say if we're talking about the twin flame, if both of you put in the equal amount reciprocity, working together, giving and receiving with each other, you both feel like you're being more fulfilled in the relationship, supporting, encouraging each other, trying to be understanding, compassionate. All those things can lead to you um, growing a healthier, better, thriving relationship and being and staying in harmony. If you don't do that, it'll be tough for you to continue to do that. 2222, they say, is a significant twin flame number. It reflects partnership, alignment, and balance spiritually. Of course, nothing guarantees the union. With the twin flame, 2222 might indicate that you need to learn important things that are unfolding related to the connection and the growth in that union. It's important for you to continue when you're in the twin flame union, excuse me, to focus on your own personal development, each of you, and also working together to grow the relationship and also to serve the purpose that you're here for together. It will take you patience, of course, continuing to work on yourself, healing, and trusting God's timing if you are separated. If you're together, again, it could be balancing together, growing the connection, getting deeper, improving communication, working together, doing your individual work as well as the work that the two of you are doing together for yourselves, for the relationship, the union, sorry, and for the world. Um, it's important for you to focus on what you really want in your life. Um, this says pause and reflect. So take your time thinking about the areas where you do need balance. If you're focused too much in one area, unless you're okay and you like it in, developing in that area, that's fine. If you don't, you should consider changing this. So it could be that you're focused too much on relationships and not career and money, or you could be too focused on career and not relationships. It could be that you're focused on finances and not health. Um, could be you're focused on work and not personal growth. So whatever it is that you want to grow, you want to develop, just be mindful that you need to work in those areas if you want things to come along the way you're hoping or desiring them to. Okay, and let me get a little bit into the other topic that I wanted to talk about, which is stocks. This is going to be more than one part because I want to focus a lot actually on stocks and how you can grow in this area. This is something that if you would like to work with me on, you could also contact me. And like I said, you could book a free consult with my Calendly link, um, or contact me. You could always email me as well to book a consult to talk about how you can use trading and things like that to help as another stream of income. So I want to give you an encouraging example, and then maybe what I'll do is talk more about it in the next video. So an encouraging example of this, for instance, so my friend, he told me about this stock that you could get into, and let's say it's Paramount Skydance stock. And Paramount Skydance, or Google, whatever, just we're making up numbers and all that stuff. So he invested 20,000, let's say, in Google stock. It's not that, but it's something else. So let's say he invested 20,000 in Google stock because he was talking to me about trading, and I said, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you, like, it's a stock that could go up like $2 or $3, something like that, up to $5. Why don't you invest in this stock, 20 grand, and take it out when it gets to a certain price? Buy in at a certain price, buy low, sell high. That's the name of the game for stocks. So he bought it at, let's say $21.10, okay? So let's say the stock cost $21.10. And let's say it's not Google, let's say it's Alphabet. That's what we'll call it, Alphabet. So there's no confusion because we're not really talking about Google, y'all. We talking about Alphabet. We made it up. So let's say 20,000 into Alphabet. So 20,000 bought you, let's say if we're buying them at $21.10, 947.87 stock. Okay? 947.87 of these. Okay? And when this went up, let's say it went to $25.10, and that means it went up $4. Okay? So you have 9 of these. Sorry, you have $4 that for each of them it went up. So 947.87 stock is what you have. Okay? And multiply 4 by that number because each of those shares of stock, excuse me, you gained $4 because you bought it at 21.10, remember, and you sold it at 25.10. So $4 is the difference. That means you gained 3,791.48. Now my friend was pretty close to this. He got about 40, 30, 3,400, let's say 3,400. So this is the amount that you can make over a day or a couple days, depending on how fast that stock moves from the price you bought it to the price that you sold it at. Okay. So 20 grand invested, and that means if you invested half of that amount, you could get 1895 basically is what you would make if you invested 10. Okay. And then let's say you take it in half again, and you could make $947 basically on this, putting in, we talked about 5, 10, 20. So if you put in 20, $3,791 basically is what you would get. And if you invested, that's for 20,000 on a stock that costs $21.10. You caught it $21.10, and then you sold it $25.10. Okay. So we took that in half, and we said if you invested 10,000, you could get $18.95. And then if you took that in half again, if you invested 5,000, you could get $947. Okay. So this is the math on you just investing and with a decent stock, getting money off of that stock because it could be very profitable for you. So this is something that you could check out. And again, I'm going to talk about it more in the next video. And I look forward to talking with you again soon. Okay, bye for now.